The two clocks problem. Why your brain wants results in days but your business runs on years. Your nervous system is wired for instant feedback, but every real creator business runs on a multi-year clock. Here's how to stop letting one sabotage the other. You post a reel on Tuesday. By Tuesday night you know if it worked. You send a check-in text and get a reply in 90 seconds. You refresh your analytics twice before lunch. Not because you're undisciplined, but because your brain is running on a clock that measures success in minutes. Then you launch a product, and it does okay but not amazing. And after 11 days you start wondering if the whole thing was a mistake. Here's the uncomfortable truth nobody puts on a slide. Your dopamine system and your business run on two completely different clocks. And almost every creator who quits early quits because they mistook the fast clock's silence for the slow clock's verdict. This isn't a willpower problem you can white-knuckle your way through. It's a mismatch between two systems that were never designed to run on the same schedule. And once you can see that clearly, a lot of the anxiety around slow weeks starts to lose its grip. Why your brain is built for the wrong clock. Every notification you've ever gotten, a like, a comment, a DM reply, trains your brain to expect feedback on a timescale of seconds. That's not a character flaw, it's basic neuroscience. Dopamine fires on prediction and immediate reward. And social platforms are engineered to exploit exactly that loop. The problem is that a creator business doesn't run on that loop at all. Building an audience that trusts you enough to buy, building a product good enough to get reviewed and shared, building the kind of reputation that makes someone recommend you unprompted. None of that happens on a notification timescale. It happens on a compounding timescale, more like a garden than a slot machine. You water it consistently for months, and then one week it looks like nothing changed overnight even though everything changed underneath. This is the two clocks problem. Fast clock, slow clock, running simultaneously. And most of the anxiety in a creator's life comes from checking the wrong one at the wrong time. You check the fast clock, today's views, today's sales, to answer a slow clock question, is this business working? And the fast clock simply isn't built to answer that. It's like checking a thermometer to find out what season it is, technically related, but the wrong instrument for the question. Almost nobody quits because the slow clock said no. They quit because they kept asking the fast clock a question it was never built to answer. What the two clocks actually look like, side by side. It helps to get concrete about which signals belong to which clock. Because most creator burnout comes from treating a fast clock signal like it's slow clock evidence. Notice the pattern. Everything that actually determines whether you build a real income lives in the right-hand column. On a timescale, your brain wasn't built to feel good about. That's not pessimism, it's just how compounding works. If you want a mental model that fits, think of your first year less like a sprint you're winning or losing daily, and more like laying pipe. Nothing flows for a while, and then suddenly, it all flows at once. The 3 moments this mismatch actually costs you money. 1. Quitting a product line after one quiet week. A creator launches a $39 template pack, sells 6 copies in week 1, feels the fast clock disappointment, and pulls it down or stops promoting it. But 6 copies in week 1 from a coldish audience is often exactly on pace for a product that does steady, unglamorous numbers for 2 years. The fast clock says, underwhelming. The slow clock, if you'd let it run, would say, early and normal. 2. Changing your entire niche every few months. Niche hopping is a fast clock decision dressed up as strategy. When growth feels slow, it's tempting to conclude the topic is wrong rather than the timeline is early. Most durable creator brands look, from the inside during month 4, indistinguishable from a brand that's about to fail. The difference only becomes visible on the slow clock, usually somewhere past month 9 or 12. 3. Never raising your price because last month felt shaky. Pricing decisions made from a fast clock mood. Sales were slow this week. Better not risk a price increase. tend to lock in low prices indefinitely, because there's always a slow week to point to. The slow clock question: has my audience, proof, and product quality grown over the last 6 months? Is the one that should actually decide your price. And it usually says yes far more often than your Tuesday afternoon mood does. A useful gut check. Before making any big decision, killing a product, changing your niche, dropping your price, ask which clock is actually talking. If the evidence is younger than 6-8 weeks, it's almost certainly the fast clock. And it shouldn't get a vote on decisions that only the slow clock has enough data to make. How to actually feel the slow clock instead of just believing in it. Telling yourself, be patient, doesn't work for very long, because willpower is itself a fast clock resource. It runs out. What works better is making the slow clock's progress visible, so you're getting real feedback on the timescale that matters instead of no feedback at all. This is a big part of why having an actual storefront, rather than just a scattered set of links, changes how sustainable this feels. A dashboard that shows this month against last month, total customers instead of today's views, gives your brain a slow clock signal it can actually track, which quiets the urge to keep rechecking the fast one. Keep one running log of monthly revenue and customer count, not daily, monthly. So the trend line is the thing you evaluate, not any single day. Pick one product and commit to promoting it for at least 90 days before judging whether it works. Set a recurring 5-minute monthly review instead of a daily analytics check. Same information, radically less anxiety. Add one compounding asset this quarter: a lead magnet, an email sequence, or a discount code campaign that keeps working after you stop actively pushing it. Write down your slow clock goal for the year in one sentence, and reread it before making any quit or pivot decision. This is also where the practical setup matters more than people expect. If your sales, your email list, and your product catalog are scattered across 5 tools and a stack of screenshots, there's no clean place to actually watch the slow clock, so of course you default back to checking likes. Consolidating into store.fan means your customer list, your discount codes, and your monthly sales trend all live in one dashboard you can glance at once a month instead of once an hour. Reframes that hold up under real pressure. A few mental shifts tend to actually survive contact with a bad week, which is the real test of any mindset advice. "This isn't working" is a fast clock sentence. The slow clock version is, "This hasn't compounded yet." Same data, completely different next action. A launch is a data point, not a verdict. One quiet week tells you almost nothing about month 18. Consistency beats intensity on the slow clock. 12 months of showing up beats one incredible month, followed by 6 quiet ones, almost every time. Your competitors' highlight reels are fast clock content. You're comparing your slow clock reality to their fast clock performance, which is never a fair fight. If you want to see what a slow clock build actually looks like from the outside, a live example store is worth studying. The product mix, the content blocks, the discount structure all look like the product of many small, boring, repeated decisions rather than one lucky viral moment. That's usually exactly what it is. When fast clock feedback is genuinely useful. None of this means ignore short-term data entirely. That's its own mistake. Fast clock signals are excellent at telling you whether a specific headline, thumbnail, or price point beats another one right now. Use them for that, tightly scoped. A product title. Test 2 prices for a week. Try a new hook on 3 posts. The error isn't using fast feedback. It's using fast feedback to answer slow questions like, should I keep doing this at all? Keep the 2 jobs separate, and both clocks become useful instead of one sabotaging the other. The clock you're actually running on. Nobody builds a sustainable creator income by winning every week. They build it by surviving enough quiet weeks without concluding the wrong thing about them. Your brain will always want the fast clock's dopamine hit, and that's fine. It's not something to fight, Just something to root around. Route it toward one place that shows you the slow clock's real progress. Keep your promotion and product decisions running on that longer timeline, and let this month's silence be exactly what it usually is. Not a verdict, just the sound of pipe being laid. The creators who eventually look like they got lucky almost never did. They simply kept feeding the slow clock, while everyone around them burned out chasing the fast one. And by the time the compounding became visible from the outside, it had already been building quietly for a year or more underneath. For more on building that kind of durable, unhurried business, the blog has guides on the exact systems worth compounding first, and pricing lays out what it actually costs to get the slow clock a proper dashboard. If anything about the setup trips you up along the way, contact support. That's a fast clock problem worth solving fast, so the slow one can keep running underneath it. Key takeaways. Your brain evolved to want feedback in seconds or hours. A real creator business compounds over 18 to 36 months, and confusing the two timelines is the single biggest reason people quit too early. Vanity feedback, likes, views, instant replies, runs on the fast clock. Revenue, audience trust, and search traffic run on the slow clock. They rarely move together in the short term. The fix isn't more willpower, it's building slow clock evidence you can actually see. A running sales log, week-over-week product data, and small compounding systems instead of one-off launches. A store you actually own, not just a bio link, is what makes the slow clock legible, because a dashboard sales, customers, and repeat buyers show up as numbers instead of vague feelings. The creators who make it aren't the most talented. They're the ones who kept showing up on the slow clock while everyone else was checking the fast one. Start your creator store free at store.fan.